show for you today. Today we are
Apocalypse of
Abraham, chapters 26 through 32. Wow.
Through 32.
What?
Are you on life or something? What's going on?
Nope.
So, are you drunk?
No.
Did you drive here drunk?
Are you?
No.
Well, that's surprising.
I was drinking yesterday.
Well, are you still drunk?
I don't think so.
That would
Prove
be
it.
a really, really long time.
I mean, I said the intro just fine.
Blow into one of those things.
A breathalyzer?
Yeah, one of the...
I don't think we even have.
Do we have a breathalyzer?
No.
We have a poor stream status.
Yeah, I don't know
Apparently.
why.
Me neither,
It's because YouTube's not receiving enough video.
apparently, which is weird
I'm
because
giving them 4,660 something kilobits per second, which is what they want, and I'm not really sure what's going on.
that is weird. That is very weird.
Strange.
Is there a problem with YouTube right now?
There could be a problem with YouTube. There's very frequently a problem with YouTube.
Okay.
Isn't there?
Maybe chat. I don't know if chat can and see us.
I'm gonna just check on my phone.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Why don't you?
Well, while he's checking that, and we're finishing the Apocalypse of Abraham today.
Yeah, mighty apocalyptic.
It is. Yeah, we are in the apocalyptic portion of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
How about that?
that he sounds like such a dick.
Mhm.
It's choppy, Jason. Okay, yeah, okay, that's fair. Because we kind of a preview up on our screen, and sometimes
I have no
Gets
idea
slow.
what's causing this, and it's not recommending anything.
huh,
It just says the video is not smooth.
yeah, that's really strange. Because we had YouTube up on a different screen earlier, and yeah,
Now
that
it
one
says
seems
no
to have
data.
not went well.
And it will end shortly.
Oh,
Unless you restart it in your streaming software.
It still says we're streaming on the software.
so I mean, this is
not
really
us.
weird. I don't know what this is.
Like, if you take a look, this is what it says we're doing here.
Right. So it says through our streaming software, it says that we're
all
fine.
good.
Yeah. So this is definitely on YouTube. This is on their part.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what's happening there. I do choppy though, and I'm sure that's not annoying. I'm sure it is
We've
annoying.
gone to no
Do you
data.
think that
again.
OBS update was important?
It was asked to update last time.
0 KBS.
Yeah. Now it's just reconnected.
Now we have an excellent connection.
Are we back?
How did that happen?
Stream is healthy. You're more than back. You're here.
We're back
Hello, everyone.
officially.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really unfortunate. How
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything
Yeah.
Friday Apocryphal and podcast. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today, we're covering the Apocalypse of Abraham, chapters 26 through 32.
And
Yeah.
you probably, the first intro sucked anyways. You guys were so out of sync.
Well, does it
Or
matter?
twice. It
It's-
does.
Apparently, YouTube was out of sync, too.
Yeah, YouTube was out of sync. Yeah, blame YouTube. So I mean, I guess we're back now officially. It looks
we're more
like
than back. We have an excellent connection.
yeah.
Our connection is so good.
Yeah, all OBS had to do was
did
stop
nothing.
working.
We just waited for YouTube to stop hiccuping and burping and barfing on itself.
Yeah, so luckily we're good. I'm gonna have to cut that part out later.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah,
Do what you
that
gotta
wasn't
do.
good.
Start it with Ruben's new intro.
Yeah, with Ruben's new intro.
My awesome intro.
Either
Thank
way.
you very much.
Either way, sorry about the technical difficulties. I'm blaming YouTube for this one.
Yeah, I've seen
Ditto.
some weird technical difficulties with YouTube streams. Like, I've seen people have their audio become like completely garbly or even speed up.
Yeah,
Like, it's
I've seen
weird.
it desync by a solid 5 seconds per minute.
that's pretty bad.
It got
That's
so
really
bad
bad.
that it was just audio and their visual was like 35 seconds off.
That's so bad.
No.
That's so horrible.
Susan!
And trying to fix that stuff in post is a pain in the ass too.
What would you even do with no video and audio only, but stuck at video from 38 seconds?
You got to try real hard.
God damn.
Yep. So I have the Old Testament Pseudepigrapha, Volume 1 by James H. Charlesworth.
And we do have Volume 2. Is the Testament of Solomon in that one? I don't know, but either way, so once we're done with the Apocalypse of Abraham today, our next one is probably going to be the Testament of Solomon, and I'm not sure if it's in which volume it's in.
There's the Testament of Solomon is in here. And for those of you who are interested in figuring out how long the Testament of Solomon is, it is.
No, it looks like there's also a lot of notes in that.
Yeah, there's a lot of notes. It's pretty long. I mean, it's not short. It's 26 chapters.
All right.
So we'll spend a while on that one.
Yeah, it'll be a good time, I think. So that's gonna be our next one, and then we can always decide later what we have afterwards.
Yeah.
Either way,
we could read the Arabian Nights.
We could do that.
They're not mythology.
We could read a lot of stuff.
We could read like
the entirety of the Mahabharata.
Oh, we could read the Left Behind series.
Shut up.
The whole Left Behind series.
Listen, I already hate you enough. you gotta stop this. It's time to stop.
We could watch the movie. It has Nicolas Cage in it.
Ooh.
Yeah, I forgot what movie he was even in. We were talking
national
about
treasure.
Was he in that?
Yes, of course I've seen that.
He's such
he in that?
Ghost Rider.
You sure?
Yes, I am positive that Nicolas Cage was in National Treasure.
Oh, good. Right, I was thinking of Night at the Museum or something.
So, here's a question.
That was
is Nicolas Cage a good actor or a shitty actor?
Yes.
I feel like when he tries, he can be good. But then other times,
I feel like when he tries too hard, he does really bad.
Now, here's a question.
I know
Nicolas Cage or Christopher Walken?
I picked Jack Nicholson. He's a good tiebreaker.
Jack Nicholson's nuts, man.
I know. He's a great tiebreaker, though.
I have no preference.
I'm going to have to go with Christopher Walken.
I'm also going to have to go with Christopher Walken if I don't get a tiebreaker.
We should also go with the Apocalypse of Abraham.
Oh, my God. That's
so,
right.
chapter 26. And I said, Eternal Mighty One, why did you establish it to be so and to call on the testimonies of this one? And he said to me, Hear, Abraham, and understand what I will explain to you, and answer whatever I ask you. Why did your father Terah not obey your voice and abandon the demonic worship of idols until he perished and all his house with him? And I said, Eternal Mighty One, surely because it did not please him to obey me, nor did I follow his works. And he said to me, Hear, Abraham, as the counsel of your father is in him, as your counsel is in you, so also the counsel of my will is ready. In days to come you will not know them in advance, nor the future men you will see with your own eyes that they are of your seed. Look at the picture.
So, I mean, there's no picture
Alex
attached.
Jones at the very end there.
Look at the picture.
So there's no picture attached to the text, unfortunately. But would a father really be expected to follow in the ways of his son?
I mean, if it's Terah and Abraham, then
Also, IRL, some kid's a real nice guy and his dad wasn't so great. And, then his dad was like, man, I should be more like my kid. That's not even unrealistic.
Yeah, but I mean, like, traditionally speaking, from all the stuff that we've read before.
Yeah, definitely not.
Definitely no.
Sorry, my bad.
No. It's always the other way around.
It is.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's bad to do that, obviously. Like sometimes it's a bad thing that you followed in the ways of your fathers, right? But like that's what's expected.
That's life.
You draw your lot.
Yep. And his wife turns to salt. Okay. Well, that was all of chapter 26. If you're enjoying the stream so far, give us a like share, subscribe.
Yeah, we did have some unfortunate technical difficulties
Yeah.
that I will cut out later.
You better. Anyways, chapter 27, since there really isn't much to say about chapter 26, it's basically nothing.
Yeah.
It's a horrible chapter.
What was I saying? Most things of that? Yeah.
No. 27. And I looked and I saw, and behold.
Holding a bee.
The picture swayed, and from its left side, a crowd of heathens ran out, and they captured the men, women, and children who were on its right side, and some they slaughtered, and others they kept with them. Behold! I saw them running to them by way of 4 ascents, and they burned the temple with fire, and they plundered the holy things that were in it. And I said, Eternal One, the people you receive from me are being robbed by the hordes of the heathen. They are killing some and holding others as aliens, and they burn the temple with fire, and they're stealing and destroying the beautiful things which are in it. Eternal Mighty One, if this is so, why now have you afflicted my heart, and why will it be so? And he said to me, Listen, Abraham, all that you've seen will happen on account of your seed, who will continually provoke me because of the body which you saw and the murder in what was depicted in the temple of jealousy, and everything you saw will be so. And I said, Eternal Mighty One, let the evil works done in iniquity now pass by, but make commandments in them more than his just works, for you can do this. And
Man, your Abraham is so whiny.
I love it. It's like, who are you trying to be? I want to know.
Abraham.
Oh, very well. Thank
And he said to me, Again, the time of justice will come upon them, at first through the holiness of kings. And I will judge with justice those whom I created earlier to rule from them in them. And from these same ones will come men who will have regard for them, as I announced to you and you saw. That's the end of chapter 27.
So, just another vision about the future times, and then you had of course the vision initially, which was
right. So for those who don't remember, there's this not quite a painting, right? It's a picture that Abraham's in heaven with God, and he's looking down and he's seeing this image projected into the firmament, right? And part of it was an image of the Garden of Eden, where on one half were all the descendants of Abraham, and on the other half were different tribes. And now in the image, those from the tribes have come over and attacked the descendants of Abraham and defiled the temple.
Yeah, and there was also I think I forget if it was this was something else, right? With the people melting in Gehenna. That was on the way up.
When they were going up.
Yeah, that was on the way up. Okay.
Yeah. And I answered, this is chapter 28. And I answered and said, Mighty Eternal One, you who are sanctified by your power, be merciful in my petition, since for this you informed me and showed me. Since you've brought me up onto your height, therefore inform me, your beloved, about whatever I ask.
Wow, it's turned into a Morty.
Yeah.
Very well. Here I am.
Will what I saw be their lot for long? And he showed me a multitude of his people. And he said to me, For this reason, it is through the 4 ascents you saw that my anger will be because of them, and in them will be retribution for their works. And in the 4th ascent is 100 years, and 1 hour of the age will also be 100 years in evil among the heathen, and an hour in their mercy, even with reproaches as among the heathen.
So for these ascents, are they talking about different kingships?
Right. So the ascents.
Yeah, they were referenced earlier.
Yeah,
with the 4 ascents.
This first appears in chapter 27. And when it appears in chapter 27, some say descents or going down. Some say entrances or goings in. Some say ascents, goings up. Some say exits or going out.
Okay, so it's just a direction of movement away.
Yeah.
All right, so it's not helpful that they're all different, or not all different, but that they're different translations of that, I guess.
It's still away from you, basically. So whatever it is, they're going away from you.
So, okay, so...
Or away from God.
Oh,
no.
Where's the spooky music? Hold up, I gotta figure this out. Here we go.
There it is. There's the spooky music. We rarely use those, but we do. I mean, I can probably take over the rest of the chapters whenever this one is done. Is that it?
The next, that's the end of that chapter. The next chapter is a little longer. Why don't you hand it back to me at chapter?
I mean, it doesn't matter. I could just do the rest of it.
I mean, hand it back to me at 31.
Oh, okay, fine.
I did like a page. You can do like a page.
All right.
Right.
So either way, we are now on 29, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Because that does.
Good
come after
job,
28.
Lawrence.
I know that. I am the smirt. All right. So, chapter 29. And I said, Eternal Mighty One, how long...
Wow, your Abraham is so lame.
Okay, my Abraham is a serious, sophisticated Abraham.
Here I am.
Oh,
You're going to take that guy seriously.
You're
Mr. Meek,
completely.
here I am.
He is super
quote.
serial.
We're talking
That's
about
his
a crazy
catchphrase.
dude who tried to kill his son and then snipped the dick skin off of everyone who was in his tribe. Okay, he doesn't have to be super serious.
He's super serial. All right, you gotta put some respect on his name,
Hulu
as
Friday.
God is here.
Apocryphal podcast would come down to roleplay potential.
Eternal Mighty One, how long a time is an hour of the age? That's a good question.
It is a good question.
I want to know.
And
You know, last time Abraham asked a direct question
Like a
from
good
God,
question.
God just completely sidestepped it.
yeah,
No, that's like, he does that a lot.
Yep.
that was he asked a very reasonable question. It was it was about something about morality, right?
Yeah.
And
Same thing that happened in Esdras.
Esdras.
mhm.
Yeah, I think 4th Esdras, or 2nd Esdras, or 5th Ezra, or whatever it is.
yeah, there was some weird
Yeah.
numbering there.
But like God basically avoids answering questions, and then he's like, yeah, don't worry about that. Just forget about it.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I just looked back. So the question was something along the lines of like, why is Azazel around?
Right.
Why do you allow him here? And God's like, ha.
Lol.
He basically just sidesteps the question.
Yeah.
So let's see if he actually answers this one. This is also a reasonable question posed here by Abraham. And he said, I decreed to keep 12 periods of the impious age among the heathens and among your seed, and what you have seen will be until the end of time. So I'm looking here at
So
some of the
that's an
notes.
hour?
Yeah, you're welcome.
12 periods.
So like a clock face?
Oh, it's Jeremy Jeremy from The Good Place. You remember? I is also nothing and Tuesday.
So the translation here, so among your seed and what you have seen will be, it's ambiguous. It could be what you have seen will be among your seed even. So close.
You know, I've noticed a lot of sentences in this are bad. Like the grammar is bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
That happens a lot, and I hate it. Especially,
Wow.
I have been like some of the more recent homework was like in my Greek course was translations of Homer. And that's pretty much how that is. Like the thing is, ancient Greek is already pretty disconnected.
Well,
But-
Homer, he was also writing poetry,
Exactly.
and
And
he
the-
was trying to fit his poetry into like meaningful statements while also following a meter, but it had to be a continuous story.
Yeah, which is why it's horrible, because you have less words. He straight up just gets rid of words. And more than usual. Like, usually the only word that's omitted in Greek sentences is the word is, or variations of it. But for Homer, it's not just omitting that, but you omit other words. You omit letters in words. Sometimes you have to change the actual word so it kind of sounds like the word you're going for, but with an extra letter, maybe you have that meter now. And it is atrocious.
There's like, did you ever read Harry Potter?
No.
Oh, well,
I saw the movie.
All 7.5?
I saw like 5.
So there's characters in there who have like Scottish type accents, but their dialogue is written phonetically.
Oh. So they have to
imagine if you're reading Homer and he just comes in with like some phonetic dialogue in Greek.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Imagine being a person in the future trying to translate like Harry Potter, right? Where most of it's just normal English, but then you have like dialogue from certain characters that's in phonetic English in like some weird thing where you have like random apostrophes in the middle of words.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it'd be pretty bad. So
you've stumbled upon the information nightmare. Good job.
So either way, 12 periods of the impious age. I don't think it would just be an hour, but he goes on here. 12 periods of the impious age among the heathens and among your seed, and what you have seen will be until the end of time. Count it up and you will understand. Look down at the picture. And I looked and saw a man going out from the left, the heathen side. From the side of the heathen went out men and women and children, a great crowd, and they worshipped him. So this apparently it looks like a human man. So we got this dude over here.
This is Jesus.
Well, we'll see. This is on the heathen side.
By the way, well, yeah, a good portion of the people who converted to Christianity were like Romans and shit.
Sure.
But also, just want to point out, God totally sidestepped the question again.
Yeah, he did.
He did not answer how long an hour is.
No, he said, look at the picture. That answers his question again. That's his real answer.
Yeah, So 12 periods of the impious age, so until the end.
That's not anything specific.
It doesn't really help.
Nope.
But it's apparently it's whatever that is divided by 12.
Yeah. And that's going to be until the end of time.
Yes.
Also, somehow.
And while I was looking, those on the right side came out, and some insulted this man, and some struck him, and others worshipped him. And I saw that as they worshipped him, Azazel ran and worshipped, and kissing his face, he turned and stood behind him. And I said, Eternal Mighty One, who is this man insulted and beaten by the heathen with Azazel worshipped? Okay, so it seems like Azazel is going up to this man as well.
Yeah, Azazel is worshiping this guy, and some people worship him and other people are like attacking him.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to point out the Apocalypse of Abraham, prophetic text, predicted movies. These are moving pictures that Abraham is looking at.
Oh, yeah. The accurate, the author of this knew that that movies were going to be a thing.
Yep.
No, watch this film. No, keep watching the film.
Yeah, God's like straight up
really
like
straight up like
so
just keep watching.
You've just been hired as one of my beloved ones. We have an orientation video for you to watch.
Welcome to Godco.
That's pretty good. And he answered and said, Hear, Abraham, the man whom you saw insulted and beaten and again worshipped is the liberation from the heathen for the people who will be born from you.
Okay, so it is Messiah.
Well, hold on. So there's a textual note here on liberation. It could be security or relaxation. So it seems that this man being worshipped is liberation from the heathen for the people who will be born from you. So
that's kind of
children
like
of Abraham.
what a Messiah does, right?
I mean, in a sense, yeah.
So when was?
But
this
either way,
written?
it's still symbolic.
When
was
it's
the
symbolic. Apocalypse of Abraham written?
I think it was. Well, we had a conversation on this beforehand.
Yeah,
and I think this was like I kind of landed that it was like shortly after the first century, somewhere in the second century.
Yeah.
That was my guess.
I could see this being post-Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So anyways, in the last days, in this 12th hour of impiety, in the 12th period of the age of my fulfillment, I will set up this man from your tribe, the one whom you have seen from my people, and I will all will imitate him. So there's a textual break here. And then it says, you consider him as one called by me. They are changed in their counsel. So some textual notes here because there are a couple of textual breaks. So this clause is corrupt, it looks like. The one from you consider him as one called by me, they are changed. Yeah. So the clause is corrupt, and omissions must be assumed. The nominative plural present participle has no subject, and it requires emendation.
Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty sure this is talking about a Messiah figure. So this is like the chosen one of God. He comes from the line of Abraham. It's already been established that this is after the era of the kings.
And he's coming out of the heathens.
Yes.
He's coming from the left side, yeah.
Yeah.
And those you saw coming out from the left side of the picture and worshiping him, this means that many of the heathens will trust in him. And those of your seed you saw on the right side, some insulting him, some beating him, and others worshiping him, many of them shall be offended because of him. This sounds like a nice old jab to the Pharisees.
Yeah.
If, of course, we're talking about Jesus, which it seems
it very
likely.
well could be, yeah.
Maybe they just didn't want to put a name to him at this point.
Yet.
For some reason, and the author of the Apocalypse of Abraham didn't put a name to him. Or maybe it was taken out later. I don't know.
It might be in that section where a redaction was.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It is he who will test those of your seed who have worshipped him in the fulfillment of the 12th hour, in the curtailing of the age of impiety. So because that would be in the last hour.
That's the end of the world. That's the end of time once that's over.
Well, at least it would be because the way that time has been.
Well, he said straight up, like it's 12 periods and then the end of time. And this is the last hour, which is the last period.
Yes. So this would be before the new heaven and new earth kind of thing,
mm-hmm.
where it's the not necessarily the end of time, like as we understand time.
Yeah.
But it would be like, the end of this era, I suppose.
But it could also be literally the end.
It could be the end of. I just don't think that.
Yeah, don't worry, time loops
sense.
up there. Remember, I was explaining that.
It could be the end of God's planned time.
That too.
Sure. Yeah, that's also true. So yeah, it is he who will test those of your seed who have worshipped him in the fulfillment of the 12th hour, in the curtailing of the age of impiety. Before the age of justice starts to grow, my judgment will come upon the heathen who have acted wickedly through the people of your seed, who have been set apart from me. In those days, I will bring upon all earthly creation 10 plagues, through evil and disease and the groaning of the bitterness of their souls. Interesting.
Right. We have a parallel to Egypt here. Maybe he's talking about Moses. But no, the heathens did not follow Moses.
They didn't.
So he is not talking about Moses.
This is an interesting one, though. Interesting connection. Well, of course, Jesus was in some ways supposed to be seen as a second Moses.
Right. Well, it's promised that there will be another one like Moses, basically at the end of the Torah, right? And the whole procession afterwards is like leading up to this Messiah figure who's supposed to be the one who's like Moses.
So what I mean is, once we get to the New Testament, you'll see it really clearly. But there are so many allusions to and so many parallels that are made between Jesus and Moses.
Does he have a stick?
I mean, maybe he had a stick.
Does it ever mention Jesus having a stick?
He might have a stick. I don't know.
As Moses had that.
He doesn't need to have a stick.
I bet there's a bunch of Apocrypha that will probably cover
where Jesus has a stick.
Jesus,
where he makes
when
clay
we get
birds
to the New
that come to
Testament
life.
Apocrypha, yeah.
There is that one. Yeah, that's always a
60-foot
good
tall
one.
Jesus might need a stick. Yeah.
Yeah, Caillou Jesus. Jesus
Kaiju.
versus Jesus versus Godzilla. Jesus versus Mecha Jesus.
What about? Are we just gonna forget about Mothra here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I wasn't.
Fuck Mothra.
But,
King Gordita.
what?
What?
The one with multiple heads, giant dragon thing.
God, I don't know how to say his name either.
Yeah.
But there's a king version of him, and it has more heads.
Yeah. So either way, yeah, chat's right.
Actually, no, that's kind of like what Revelations like, right? There's a dragon.
You mean, yeah.
So this is Jesus versus Godzilla.
You do kind of get a scene like that. It's not completely off.
So I'm expecting when we get there to have a scene where it's like, and lo, the Lamb stoodeth 6,000 feet high, and he did release a blast of radiation from his mouth and did fry
energy.
the dragon.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, I'm very excited to get to Revelation.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, let's talk about this. Maybe we're gonna hear more about the plagues. Anyways, yeah, and the groaning of the bitterness of their souls, such will I bring upon the generations of those who are on it, out of anger and corruption of their creation, with which they provoke me. And then from your seed will be left the righteous men in their number, protected by me, who strive in the glory of my name toward the place prepared beforehand for them, which you saw deserted in the picture. And they will live, being affirmed by the sacrifices and the gifts of justice and truth in the age of justice. And they will rejoice forever in me, and they will destroy those who have destroyed them. They will rebuke those who have rebuked them through their mockery, and they will spit in their faces. Those rebuked by me, when they are to see me rejoicing with my people, for those who rejoice and receive and truly return to me. See, Abraham, what you have seen. Hear what you have heard. Know what you have known. Go to your inheritance, and behold!
Behold!
I am with you forever.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the end of chapter 29, by the way.
It's pretty intense, man.
Yeah, so he's got to go back to them, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. Either way, I mean, we pretty much discussed most of the stuff in that chapter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so we can continue on to chapter 30.
Hi, Landon.
Hi, Landon.
Landon, good to see you, Landon. And this is chapter 30 now. And while he was still speaking, I found myself on the earth. And I said, Eternal Mighty One, I am no longer in the glory in which I was above, and all that my soul desired to understand in my heart, I do not understand. You know what?
He just told him.
He did. And no, here's the thing. I understand where Abraham is coming from here, because he has a lot of questions.
And God isn't very good at answering them.
Let's be fair here. He's very bad at answering these questions. There was that time where he just dodged it completely. There was another time where he was just really, really cryptic.
Yeah.
And now Abraham was pushed away. He's like, no, he's back on Earth now.
Wait, what happened to the birds?
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe they're still up there.
He and IOL had to fly up on those birds.
Well, now with God power, I don't know why they didn't use it. I don't know why they didn't use it before, but now he's just teleported. I don't know why that couldn't have been done earlier, but I guess they wanted to see all the firmaments, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's continue. And he said to me, "Oh, man, that scared me." Okay.
What did he say?
And he said to me, "I will explain to you the things you desired in your heart, for you have sought to know the 10 plagues which I prepared against the heathen, and I prepared them beforehand in the passing of the 12 hours on earth." He didn't say he wanted to know about the 10 plagues.
No, he didn't.
So,
But I guess.
it'd be good to know,
Yep.
right? Hear what I tell you. It will be thus. You know, I hate when people do that.
Hear what I tell you.
No, where they say things like, okay, well, let me just say this. Just say the thing.
Can I ask you a question?
Fuck it, shit like that.
Yeah, hold on.
Just say the thing. You don't have to say, all right, here's what I had to tell you. Just say it. You're wasting everyone's time.
Well, what I have to say about that.
What's the style at the time?
Anyways, the first, sorrow from much need. So that's the first one. That's it. That's the whole first one.
Okay. So, like poverty.
Yeah. The second, fiery conflagrations.
That's a big jump.
For the cities.
Yeah, that's a huge jump.
The third, destruction by pestilence among the cattle. Oh,
That's bad.
the fourth, famine of the world of their generation. So that first one, maybe not necessarily famine or poverty even. Maybe, I guess it could be poverty more generally. So the fifth, among the rulers, destruction by earthquake and the sword. The sixth, increase of hail and snow. Man, they should live in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
The seventh, wild beasts will be their grave. So they're going to get eaten by the wild beasts. The eighth, pestilence and hunger will change their destruction. That's a weird one.
Yeah, because they were already hungry and pestilent.
Right. So now that's going to change?
Yeah, it sounds like it's cascading. Maybe.
Okay, so it apparently, well, first of all, a lot of this is obscure from the notes, but this one says possibly means take turns in causing destruction, but this cannot be certain.
Okay.
The ninth, execution by the sword and flight in distress. The 10th, thunder, voices, and destroying earthquakes. So I guess this is supposed to destroy, these earthquakes are supposed to destroy something else from the other earthquakes, maybe. That's why they're separated. Either way, so we have
natural disasters.
Yeah, natural disasters. We got famine. We have probably poverty. We have war.
Pestilence.
Yeah.
Wild animals.
Yeah.
And the livestock dying off.
Yeah. So we got a good amount of stuff here. And of course, execution by the sword.
Yeah.
That's always a great one. You got to throw it in there. By the way, that is the end of chapter 30. Those are the 10 plagues. I like how he explained those only after he said, listen, I know you're wondering about the 10 plagues. He's like, I asked you why I wasn't in heaven anymore, but okay.
Yeah. This is
No, here. I don't not only answer your questions, but I also give you answers that you didn't want.
The thing
Here
is,
you go.
This is fine to have an answer to, right?
Sure.
That's nice
Yeah.
to know. But Abraham was asking a slew of other things.
and it's
He's like, hey,
noteworthy.
what happened? And he's like, let me tell you about this instead.
These
okay.
have very little relation to the 10 plagues of Egypt.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they're not those. They're different ones.
Yeah. Give me that.
All right, here you go. So if you guys are enjoying the stream so far, I know we had some technical difficulties earlier, but you know what? Hey, we're back on track. That's
We
fantastic.
fixed them through our technological prowess and ability.
It's actually magical powers.
Yeah.
Ancient
You guys
Egyptian magic.
You guys remember that demon summoning? Well, it's finally coming through for us.
That was it.
We've got a demon helping us keep our
Wi-Fi it up.
connection.
Yeah.
Our Wi-Fi is good because demons.
We thought it was a unicorn demon, right? That we could bend
Yep.
trees with,
Yep.
but it was actually for our internet.
Yes. It was a
help you
Wi-Fi
connect
demon.
trees.
It was a Wi-Fi.
See
demon.
those kind of trees.
It's the spirit of Terry Davis.
Yeah, it was one of those folder trees. what file trees or whatever they are.
I
Yeah.
wish that
You can bend those now. You didn't know.
I wish that Temple OS had internet capabilities so that we could do the show through Temple OS. That would be hilarious.
Temple OS.
You don't know about Temple
He
OS?
does. He forgot.
What's OS stand for? Does it stand-
Operating system.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Terry
I don't know.
Davis. Terry Davis received a message from God telling him that he would build the third temple through which he could communicate to God.
Oh,
and-
you did show me this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So there's like a random word generator, and he would like talk to God by having random words pop up.
Yeah. Okay. You did show me that
Yeah.
a while ago. Yeah.
We should eventually do a video on Temple OS.
That'd be fun.
It's a horrible operating system, to be clear. You don't want to run it on anything, and it's
Other
very
than a
difficult to
brick
navigate.
that you don't care about.
Yeah.
And even then, how'd you get a copy? Like what?
Oh yeah, the only official distributions of Temple OS, because it does not have internet connectivity, were on CD it was on
Oh
CD.
man. So unfortunately, we probably can't try it unless we somehow find.
We can get it online. It's around.
Okay.
It only costs $666 exactly.
Hey.
All right, you know.
Chapter 31. And then I will sound the trumpet out of the air, and I will send my chosen one, having in him one measure of all my power, and he will summon my people, humiliated by the heathen. And I will burn with fire those who mocked them and ruled over them in this age, and I will deliver those who have covered me with mockery over to the scorn of the coming age.
Maybe he's talking about those ones in Gehenna. They were all melting. That was a pretty great verse.
Yeah, maybe. Because I have prepared them to be food for the fire of Hades, and to be ceaseless soaring in the air of the underworld regions of the uttermost depths, to be the contents of a wormy belly.
Well, that
Okay,
sounds
so-
like hell.
So, so in this case, yeah, they're talking about. It sounds like they're just talking about the grave. Like even though they use Hades, it would be Sheol at this point, probably. Probably not like the classical hell.
Well, there's fire in this
It's
one.
starting to get more like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to get more like it, but considering that they're worm food.
Yeah, they are worm food, but
Yeah.
they're also food for the fire of Hades.
Yeah.
And soaring in the air of the underworld regions.
Sounds like they're making demons
So yeah, I
and
guess.
devils.
So is it supposed to be some weird middle point, or is it in one case they're just talking about the body and the other part they're talking about the soul?
It's not clear.
Yeah. Because if it makes that transition, it doesn't make it clear.
Right. How can they be all of these things at once?
Hey, well, I guess one would have to be a body and the other one would be a soul, right? For it to make sense.
Well, there's 3 conditions here, right? They are food for the fire of Hades. They're ceaselessly soaring in the air of the underworld. And they're the contents of a wormy belly.
Maybe they're not.
Not all of them are that. Just
Yeah, maybe like
they take up those roles.
Yeah, maybe some of them are going to like the worms. Some of them are going to the flying, like in the air of Hades, and some of them are burning up. Like in the what was it called? It was the Apocalypse of Peter. That's once we get to New Testament Apocrypha. Oh boy, I'm gonna love covering this one. So it's a journey through heaven and hell, and well, first of all, the most you get about heaven is about how sexy the angels are. That's pretty much it. I'm not actually exaggerating that much. So.
With all those eyes, you know.
It says indescribable beauty. So when they go down to the journey of hell, there are liars that are hung by their tongues. There are people who, depending on what your sin is, you get a different punishment. So maybe this is supposed to be like that. Like, depending on what you do, you have a different punishment. Maybe. It doesn't make it clear, but maybe.
Yeah. Okay, let me continue. This is an interesting verse here. For the makers will see them justice, the makers who have chosen my desire and manifestly kept my commandments, and they will rejoice with merrymaking over the downfall of the men who remain and who followed after the idols and after their murders.
Don't we all?
Who are the makers?
Say makers twice in there, right?
Yes, and for the makers, there's a footnote, and it just says
It's a major
Slavic
alcohol distributor.
Tvoriki, doers. Greek poietoi.
Oh yes, poietoi would be it would be plural, and the thing is, it could be poets, creators, makers, doers, but a lot of the time it does mean poets, but poets in the sense, they create things. So that was the understanding of the word. So it could be any of those, yeah.
For they shall putrefy in the belly of the crafty worm Azazel, and be burned by the fire of Azazel's tongue.
So
Azazel eats them.
I suppose. Well, okay, so it seems, is Azazel supposed to be like some weird personification of all of the things that they are suffering?
Yeah, in a way, it looks...
At least two of them.
Yes, at least 2 of them. And I guess this answers the question of why Azazel still exists, right? Because he has this duty at the end of time to eat all of these people, which is weird. It turns it on its head from the Leviathan tradition, right? Because Leviathan is serpentine, which is similar to a worm. They're both long, weird things. This seems like more of a Leviathan than just a worm. It's a giant thing that eats a bunch of things and has fire on its tongue.
Yeah, but Leviathan had
But where Leviathan is caught by God to be fed to the chosen people,
yeah,
Azazel, the worm Azazel, is commanded by God as a tool to eat the unchosen people.
Sure. So I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily draw that connection between like Leviathan and the worm necessarily, but I do see what you're getting at. Like the fact that
they're both vaguely serpentine creatures.
I mean, sure, I guess.
Connected with the end times that have to do with eating.
Yeah, I suppose.
Even though, so here, yes, it's definitely confirmed that Azazel is a shapeshifter. Azazel is a bird at one point.
Yeah, he could do anything, yeah.
Yeah. Here, he's a worm with a fiery tongue.
So, like, being eaten by worms is, like, I mean, that's a way to describe, like, death, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you're calling someone, like, worm food. So, it's...
But earlier, it's singular. A wormy belly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, this is one worm, which is Azazel.
I can see that, yeah.
For I waited so they might come to me, and they did not deign to. And they glorified an alien god.
Hey.
Ancient aliens, guys.
The History Channel had it right all along.
Oh, my God. The pyramids. They're spacecraft.
Do you remember what Ben Carson said about the pyramids?
What did he say?
He said that that's where Moses stored all the grain. Or sorry, not Moses, Joseph. That's where Joseph stored all the grain.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Which is no, but
yeah, he stored it in the Sphinx.
in the tombs. Yeah, totally.
Are the pyramids really tombs?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because we've explored them.
All of them?
I mean, well,
No,
yeah,
actually,
I think
no,
so.
we haven't.
No.
The three pyramids?
There's parts of the pyramids that haven't been
there's
explored.
parts.
Yeah, I guess there are probably some parts that
They're
are
not
like
structurally sound or something.
that we couldn't have gotten to.
Yeah.
Oh, they've managed to get
But like the
cameras in
main
there.
chambers.
Oh, yeah, the main chambers.
Yeah.
But all the fancy like alien technology is in the hidden sealed off section.
Yeah, that's where yep. There you go.
Also, they're invisible and imaginary and extra dimensional.
It's really incredible.
Quite a mix of things that you'll never see.
You know, it's like in the catacombs of Paris, right? You think any of the cool satanic rituals that are happening in the catacombs are happening in like the normal section that all the tourists are able to go through?
Sure.
No way. They're happening off in those parts that aren't on the official maps.
The thing is, you don't want to go get lost in the catacombs.
No, you don't. But if you do, you can find some crazy shit, I'm sure.
Yeah, before you die of starvation.
Or any number of things.
It's probably starvation.
Probably. Anyway,
I once heard it's dehydration, but you know what?
Could
It
be.
could be both.
You'll die of
Probably both.
dehydration before dying of
True,
starvation.
true.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Pope will eat you.
Oh, shit. I don't want to get eaten by the Pope.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Justin.
And they joined one to whom they had not been allotted, and they abandoned the Lord who gave them strength. That's the end of chapter 31. And we're now into the last chapter, chapter 32, which is pretty short.
Yeah.
Therefore, hear, Abraham, and see. Behold,
Behold!
Behold.
your seventh generation shall go with you, and they will go out into an alien land, and they will enslave them and oppress them as for 1 hour of the impious age. But of the nation whom they shall serve, I am to judge. So this is talking about Egypt, almost certainly, or Babylon.
So, I mean, at least...
Wait. So this is 7 generations out from Abraham, right? So do we have a genealogical chart anywhere?
Probably.
Yeah.
Let's check some books, shall we? Maybe it's an Erdman's, Hammy Erdman's.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, these are at least now we might be able to have like something for the time period, right? Like to see how much an hour is. Mm-hmm. We might actually have something there now. And I am also kind of doubting that there is that there's one in here.
Okay, so 7 generations. That's 1, 2.
Oh, is it not conveniently numbered?
No, it's all broken. I mean, realistically speaking, this would probably be during the captivity in Egypt, right? Because they don't really go into the descent of the people during that time, and it's a pretty long span of time, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be for quite a while. And unfortunately, there is not a big genealogy in here. Either way, I think that at least now we have some idea of the time period that it is.
Yeah, so if I just search 7 generations from Abraham.
I don't know how many people are typing that in or putting that specific answer out. But yeah, also Jason, of course, coming in with the quote from Exodus 12:40. Now the sojourn of the children of Israel who lived in Egypt was 430 years.
Yeah, 430 years. Okay, there was Abraham. Fulfillment of something was the sanctuary built by Moses. 7 generations separate Abraham from Moses.
Okay.
So, at least according to this website that I found. And if we're assuming that this is taking place during the Egyptian slavery period in the story, then, yeah, that would make sense that it's Moses that they're referring to.
Right. That would make sense.
430 years they lived in Egypt. So, an hour is 430 years. And if we assume 1 hour is equivalent to 1 period of time, as is stated, then the entirety of history would be like less than 5,000 years. And we're already well past that. So,
well,
and maybe, the explanation is this is hell. That's what we're in.
Oh,
right
you
now.
know what? I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Is it that bad?
Yes, life is suffering, Chris.
Maybe for you.
Life is suffering, existence is pain.
All right, well, I feel bad for you, so that's not helping. Can you fix
haven't
that
you
so that
ever
I don't feel so bad?
Haven't you ever read the entire Pali Canon? Jeez, you got to get down with that Buddha, dude.
I'm good, man.
He's just straight up like life is suffering.
I
It's
know.
a fundamental tenet of his system.
And that's
I
agree.
I
with
think
that.
you would
And
like
hold up.
Buddha.
I agree with
life
that,
is suffering, and you love it. That's my quote for 2021.
Yep.
Although once you get into because I mean, at least from the class that I took where we talked quite a bit about Buddhism, the thing is, like, yeah, on the face of it, like, yeah, like I agree, life is suffering, great, and like, the ways to get rid of suffering also works out, right?
Be
But
totally detached from the world and you won't suffer.
that is, yes, I agree, but
Don't worry.
there's
Be happy.
the way that it is often presented as well, I think, throughout history, at least. It's been, I guess it depends on the sect, right? Because
yes, there are major differences between Buddhist sects.
yeah.
So, like, I don't think that, like, Theravada Buddhism and Vajrayana Buddhism are even comparable.
And Mahayana's another one, right?
Mahayana's probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
There's Shambhala.
Shambhala is a cult run by a bunch of sex offenders.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
But they're the U.S. branch that's the biggest, unfortunately, and they're not real.
yeah. Well, like the Vajrayana or like the Tantrikas, who a lot of Tibetan stuff. There's some Indians who are also in the Vajrayana, right? And they have some pretty crazy shit in their traditions. Like there's the life of Milarepa, which is a pretty dope story about this dude who like summons hailstorms and casts black magic and shit, and then becomes enlightened and teaches gods how to be enlightened, and, like ascends.
Yeah. I mean that's like the big premise of Buddhism that I'm like, even though I agree with a good amount of stuff in the philosophy, what did you call it? Their metaphysics? I don't know, but like the whole thing, like you have to get out of samsara, right? And that's the wheel of or the cycle of
your
life
cycle
and reincarnation.
Life and reincarnation.
Yeah.
Right?
So like the whole point is to get out of that cycle. And then they have this, I forget what it's called, but it's this land of all the people who have ascended.
Nirvana.
The Bodhi.
Nirvana?
Yeah. Well,
what's it called? Where all the Buddhas are. And the thing is, to be a Buddha, right?
okay, so
you would have to.
It depends on the sect, because there's some sects that say once you're enlightened, that's it. You're just out of the cycle of reincarnation. You cease to exist at all.
But then there are some that say you can choose to stay in the cycle and help other people get out of it.
Right. So like the bodhisattvas are the ones who
bodhisattvas,
become
that's right.
enlightened and remain in samsara in order to teach others
Yes.
to be enlightened.
Right.
And that's more of a Mahayana tradition, where the Mahayana ones, as well as the Vajrayana ones, often will have these things like the Dakini lands, right, where like gods are, and like there's like Pure Land Buddhism, like Buddha fields, right?
Yeah.
Like sub-universes where just Buddhas exist.
Yeah, which I'm not. I'm like, no.
Right. But there's so many flavors of Buddhism out there. Like
Raspberry, blue raspberry, and strawberry. Oh, boy.
Blue Moon. When's the last time you had Blue Moon flavored ice cream?
Never?
Never.
Whoa.
Chris, you've had Blue Moon. Yeah.
Maybe I tried it once at like Baskin Robbins or something. But anyways,
Let me finish this.
yeah.
And they will enslave them and oppress them as for 1 hour of the impious age. But of the nation whom they shall serve, I am the judge. And the Lord said this too. Have you heard, Abraham, what I told you, what your tribe will encounter in the last days? Abraham, having heard, accepted the words of God in his heart. The end.
But he didn't actually answer the question either.
No. But in a roundabout way, he did answer both of Abraham's previous questions about why is Azazel still around and how long an hour is.
Yeah, that's true. We do have that. Although this could be hours in the sense of like, how like the ages of mankind in like Greek mythology, they're not set periods of time. They're just kind of vague descriptions of periods of time.
Yeah.
So it could be like that. Like maybe these are supposed to symbolize, 12 ages like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So the Heathen Coalition is talking about women need to be reborn as men before she can reach nirvana. Depends on the sect of Buddhism. So you got to remember that Buddhism comes from a Hindu tradition, and Buddha is basically a yogi in the Vedanta tradition, essentially. They talk about the same things. If you read any kind of Vedanta literature, any of the Vedanta Gitas, they talk about liberation in much the same way that they talk about enlightenment in Buddhism. And in certain strands of Hinduism, and therefore in certain strands of Buddhism, women are like in a karmic way subservient to men, insofar as like
Classic.
Yeah. And the way that karma works is not the way that like
People
Americans
think it works.
it works.
Yeah, not
like
at all.
they're like, oh, you do good things and good things come to you.
That's
no,
not it.
bullshit. Karma works this way. You being born into this life,
Have
into
a
a
role.
certain station. You have a certain role. You perform in accordance with that role, and you go up on the ladder.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't perform in accordance with that role, you go down on the ladder. So if a woman's role in accordance with these belief systems is to be subservient to a husband, for example, then she'd better do that, or she's not going to be able to go up to a greater role of being a male within that system. And if she can't do that, then obviously she can't be enlightened or be, nirvana, because that's not the role that she has to access at that time. Right? So it really depends on your tradition of Buddhism. Some are more accepting of women's capabilities to do things than others. Some of them deny that phenomenal reality exists at all. So,
Yeah, Chris, you'd fit right in.
It's not that I deny it, it's that I question it avidly. There's a big difference. I at least interact with it. Man, if they're just like,
pretty
nope,
sure they
it's not
interacted-
real. None of it's real. No, you're not here.
I'm pretty sure
denying
they-
you. You're not real.
Pretty sure they interact with it too, but that's mostly because they don't have a choice.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, for those guys that go off into caves and never come back.
they're still interacting with phenomenal reality.
I hope- I
there's
hope.
some of them that are like, they do some pretty nuts stuff, man. Like during the Vietnam War, there were those monks who would set themselves on
Yes,
fire
that's
and then
true.
just like sit down and meditate until they burn to death.
Yeah, that is true.
That's pretty intense, man.
Yeah.
I think they denied phenomenological reality a little.
They're just like, yeah, I feel no pain. I'm not experiencing this right now.
They could put on a hell of a demonstration.
Well, anyways, if you enjoy, well, actually, you know what? Last thoughts on the
yes.
Apocalypse of Abraham, because we just finished the book. It's over.
It wasn't bad. It was fine. Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
There's some cool stuff in there.
You're right. It doesn't line up with the cosmology of the heavens that's laid out in some other books of the same genre.
Yeah.
But the details are interesting. I like how they have movies.
Yeah. Moving pictures, spooky wookie.
Watch the movie. Stop asking me questions. It's orientation.
Hey,
Jeez.
do we still have that? We had like that hourglass, the Halloween one.
It's
do we still have
somewhere
that?
around
It's
here.
somewhere. yeah.
Okay,
I gotta
because
find it.
I did want to put that back on the table.
Oh, it's
For-
October month.
Yes, it's spooky season.
Ooh.
Maybe we should do something spooky next instead. I don't know.
Yeah, we could
We
read.
could throw a monkey wrench in our plans and.
I mean, we just
finished.
finished a book that talks about Azazel.
Yeah.
So that's pretty spooky. you know?
Worms.
Hey, because we're going to be covering the Testament of Solomon
Yep.
next, so I'm pretty sure there are a good amount of demon stuff. There's a good amount of demon stuff in here.
There should be.
So,
Okay.
yeah, let's. That'll be fun to cover. That's spooky.
Yeah, and you know what? If you enjoyed the show today, you can like, comment, subscribe to our channel. Check us out on Patreon. You can get all sorts of cool things there. You can buy yourself a Milwaukee Atheist mug on Teespring.
Or just spring now. I don't know.
Yeah, you can actually buy a whole bunch of different things. Tomic Eldritch, does Jainism have the same view of woman? I'm not.
I have no idea.
Sure.
I have only I don't have a good understanding of Jainism. I know that the Jains that I know are, I mean, they're all like super peaceful. They're all, really nice people, and I haven't had really any bad interactions with them, but also I've only met like 4 or 5 of them.
I've met more universalists than Jainists.
Right.
The Digambara Jain sect does not believe that women can achieve liberation.
But other sects,
Presumably other sects do,
right, if they just
if they specify that sect.
all right. So we can't. We personally didn't have that information, but thank you for the Google.
Yeah. It's a pretty common thing in the Indian traditions. They have a pretty different society.
Yeah,
It's
there's
it's
that.
not quite like Middle Eastern where it's totally separate in every way, but they definitely have gender roles.
I mean, yeah, every culture has gender roles.
They're much more strict than the United States.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's not. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's just gender roles. It's like it's very, very hard. Second class citizen kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's not like they're untouchables.
Right. And that oh my God, the fucking caste system.
Yeah.
That's some big bullshit there.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, obviously the Teespring and the Patreon, lots of cool stuff.
We have an Amazon wish list.
We do have an Amazon wish list. The link is in the description.
Keep buying us books.
We enjoy those. So thank you, Landon and Jason,
Yes.
for the last round of books.
Thank you very much for those books.
Yeah. And obviously we got a lot more on there. And the link is in the description. So go ahead and help us out for the table. Help us out for our long form projects.
And if you don't want to give us money, but you do want to show your support, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Completely free. That's
For
amazing. No, it's just free.
Do we have the on our YouTube channel the join
The membership
The
thing?
membership
no,
thing?
No.
Oh, well.
That,
If we ever do have that, then you could do that too.
Future
I
you,
guess.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
But like since we already have a Patreon,
I mean, it's kind of redundant.
yeah, it
Things
would
can
be
be-
redundant.
We could also have a PayPal
I mean, yeah.
for one-time
Leave
donations.
Patreon.
You know, we could have like a Bitcoin wallet and an Ethereum wallet and a Dogecoin wallet.
Wow.
You know, for people who want to donate cryptocurrencies. Yeah,
You could wallet it up,
he says, make a damn membership button. Leave Patreon.
right?
I mean, we got something going on Patreon, and I don't know if we'd get all the patrons to become members instead. I don't know. So
Give us your crypto. We want it. We want all of your crypto.
Wow.
either way, yeah. So that's
Sign your penny stocks over to us.
That's the shilling we got to do. And of course, on Sunday, as Jason pointed out, we are going to be starting Jonah and finishing Jonah, actually.
Yeah,
'cause
we're
it's really
doing
short.
the
We're
whole
doing
book.
Jonah.
It's guy gets eaten by a fish. Guy gets spit out by a fish.
Good times
Guy
were had by all.
preaches about God.
Classic.
That's my final thoughts on the book of Jonah.
Wow,
So I
we
gotta
haven't even
read-
done it yet.
This and this for Jonah. I guess I could read those other ones as well.
Yeah.
But either way, this is what I definitely have to read. So, thanks everyone for joining us, and we will
See you on
Sunday
and then Friday
for Jonah
and then Sunday
on Sunday.
in the Sunday
And then
afterwards.
something
we're
else
covering
too
something
afterwards
else
because Jonah's